Hello guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel, latest gist updates. This is a new channel. Please do well by subscribing, help me grow this channel. So the gist I brought before you today is about Peter, Paul and Jude Okoye's recent saga that's all over the internet. Few weeks ago, Paul granted an interview where he talked about so many things about the misunderstanding between him and his brother. In that interview, he said something about his brother reporting him to the EFCC. He said something about his brother, him writing the song, him being the one that has been writing the song all these years. And one of the things he said that really got people furious was the fact that his brother called the EFCC on him. That didn't sit well with people. So many people criticized Peter for this action, but Peter has come to clear his name. And from that interview, it seems that these two brothers, twin brothers for that matter, have always been in competition with another, despite what they sang in one of their songs. I still remember that clearly. It goes, "Why competition to another? My mama used to tell us not to bother, cause we did play, we did sing, we did dance for the same show." It seems they have been in competition with one another despite their mama's advice. So Peter has come to clear his name, and he wrote an open letter addressing the whole issue. In that letter, he titled it "An Open Letter to My Dear Brother Paul." It reads, I'm going to read it just the way he posted it on his verified Facebook and Instagram accounts. "My dear brother Paul, just like I have always told you several times, I'm not in any competition with you or anybody else. However, seeing you grant countless interviews where you constantly discredit my efforts in the group that we both created, built together, really speaks volume. In your recent interviews, you claimed that you wrote and sang 99% of all Psquare songs and discredited me by saying that our song with T.I., Ejajo, which I wrote, was a failure. You went as far as using the YouTube views to discredit me once again. You never acknowledged the other songs like Get Squared, Busybody, Ooh, Personally, Roll It, Temptation, Alingo, More Than a Friend, Shikini, Say Your Love, Gimme That, Senorita, Igbedu, and a few others. I know all the songs word by word. Honestly, I was a big fan till they separated. Were those songs also considered failures as well? Of course not. I don't think so. Every time I have spoken in interviews about Psquare, I have always used we and us because I saw us as a team. Of course, they are a team. That's the way it should be. But whenever you speak, it's always I and me. Even when I am standing right beside you, it's as if I never existed. My brother, neither of us is the most talented artist in the world, exactly. But you fail to understand that God gave us this talent and even granted us another chance to excel after our last breakup. Instead, you chose to turn the most awarded and decorated music group in Africa into a laughingstock again. One thing you need to understand clearly is that the fans didn't fall in love with Psquare because of who sang or who danced the most. Exactly. What made us special was the magic that came from our combined efforts. Exactly. Psquare was a force, and the fans fell in love with Psquare because of our uniqueness and unity. We both have talent, no doubt, and I have often praised you in our interviews for your songwriting ability. I have also praised anyone who has ever written song for us, even for me as Mr. P. But instead of showing gratitude for my kind words, you seem to find satisfaction in rubbing it in my face, forgetting that it is by God's grace that we have come this far. Rather than joining forces with me to reclaim our #1 spot in the music industry, you chose to team up with Jude to claim the #1 spot in the Psquare group, always looking for opportunities to marginalize and humiliate me. You are always claiming to be Psquare's songwriter, composer, producer, singer, backup vocalist. In fact, you are everything, including Psquare's video director, band, promoter, manager, even the choreographer. You are the author and finisher of Psquare. In fact, I dash you 100% of everything instead of the 99% you claim. I blame myself for not responding to your tweet claims in April 2015. Wow, that long? So this rift has been in existence for this long? Oh, that you wrote and sang all of Psquare's song. I didn't respond to these false claims for the sake of peace as advised by family and friends, and now I'm paying dearly for it. So my brother, let me ask you, is Rude Boy or Mr. P more successful than P Square today? Are we individually selling out arenas and stadiums like P Square used to? Are we topping world music charts with our songs as solo artists? Do we command crowds and entertain massive audiences like P Square? I often find myself wondering, what do you truly gain by constantly disrespecting and belittling me all the time? You have disrespected my wife, disrespected my family, disrespected my talent, disrespected my ideas, and even sided with Jude when he was clearly trying to oppress me. Now, it feels like you have taken it even further by trying so hard to turn the fans against me by making them believe I'm jealous of you. You have been doing everything for the fans to hate me. But guess what? They will never hate me. Instead, they will hate us both because we have disappointed and failed them, and I believe him 100%. I stopped being a fan after their first split in 2017. So let me continue, guys. I hope you are happy now. I genuinely wish you nothing out the best, bro. As for those who believe these lies and false narratives and come to my page to drop negative comments, I understand because you've been fed with the wrong narrative for a long time. Please allow me focus and do my music in peace. As for the EFCC matter, I will address it before the end of today. Stay tuned. Peace. Yes, remember guys that I told you that his brother Paul said he reported him to the EFCC, and later that same day he also wrote about the whole EFCC saga. Now let me read what he wrote concerning the EFCC saga. Before I tell you the whole story, here is what I need you all to understand. It's always surprising to me when people say P Square is always bringing their family matters into the public eye. Let me clarify this. P Square is not just a family, it's a public brand. Peter, let me clarify this. P Square is not just a family, it's a public brand. But Peter, Paul, Jude, Anita, Ifoma, Lola, and the rest of our family members are family. But P Square is an entity that belongs to the public as much as it does belong to us. Our fans played a significant role in our success, so they have the right to know what's happening with their beloved brand P Square. That's why it's understandable when certain aspects of our lives are shared publicly. Now, let's get straight to the point. I want to make it clear that I never reported my twin brother Paul to the EFCC. I know many of you were disappointed when Paul accused me of doing so. He mentioned that I wrote a petition against him, which he claimed made the EFCC to ask him to provide a surety. This statement suggested that he was detained, which is not true. Peter, Paul, and Jude own a management company together called Northside Entertainment, which we use to manage all of P Square's affairs. One day, I discovered another company with a similar name, but this one was called Northside Music instead of Northside Entertainment. This surprised me, so I decided to investigate further, and guess what? To my shock, the founders and directors of this secret company were none other than Jude Okoye and his wife Ifoma Okoye, and the registered address was the family home of Jude's wife. Wow. Still in shock, I knew I had to talk to Paul about it. I approached him multiple times, at least 4 different times, asking if he knew anything about this secret company and the whereabouts of some of P Square's royalties. Each time I met with him, he denied knowing anything about it. I want to set the record straight. I hereby challenge Paul or anyone else to show any petition that I, Peter Okoye, ever submitted against my twin brother Paul, or that has Paul's name on it. I'm still writing this with so much shock because I gave clear instructions to my legal team with a standing order that under no circumstances should Paul be included in my petition. Their focus was to remain solely on primary suspects, Jude Okoye and his wife Ifoma Okoye, since they were the directors of this secret company, Northside Music. Paul's recent interview about the EFCC incident commands a lot of lies. I watched and listened to Paul's interview and I was totally speechless, and I kept asking myself, how does Paul have the audacity to publicly tell lies like this, even with a respected and reputable agency like the EFCC? He claimed I petitioned him, but that's not something that ever happened. The truth is, this was something that actually happened to Jude. The real story goes back to the shocking discovery I made. The real story goes back to the shocking discovery I made, but what really got me very upset was finding out that for years, millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of naira were being secretly diverted into the secret company's account, Northside Music, from our own company, Northside Entertainment. This was not just a minor issue, it was a massive betrayal that had been going on for several years. Wow. I understand that Paul is angry because I took this matter to the EFCC, and I understand why. However, bearing in mind that I have met Paul and Jude separately and tried to discuss this matter, and it yielded me with no positive answer. In fact, the last time I approached Paul, the conversation got heated up and he said, and I quote, "Peter, go and do your worst." At this stage, I was left with no other choice but to report to the authorities and take legal actions. Jude was then detained. Jude was then detained after being questioned. He came clean and admitted he had been diverting millions of dollars of our money to this secret company that he and his wife were the director of. All of Jude's bank accounts were immediately frozen. He was eventually released on bail after he managed to provide a surety and met other bail conditions. Meanwhile, further investigations are still going on up till now. Paul's name was never mentioned in the petition because he was never a director of this secret company, unless there is something he's hiding from all of us. Paul was only invited for questioning, just like Jason Njoko of Iroko TV, Amaju Pinnick, and others who had transactional dealings with Northside Music. The EFCC investigation found out that Northside Music had been secretly collecting Psquare's royalties over the years. These royalty money were sent to a bureau de change, then transferred to Jude's personal account. A closer look at Jude's account statement revealed that once the money entered his personal account, there were multiple transactions where he was splitting the funds equally with Paul without Peter. This naturally led to some questions. After Jude confessed to diverting the funds, he also told the EFCC that the money he had been sending to Paul for several years wasn't about sharing money behind Peter's back. Instead, it was money he owed Paul from the sale of their house in America, which he was gradually paying back the loan. This is the reason why Paul has been telling everyone that the EFCC has cleared him, as if I ever wanted him to get into trouble with the EFCC. The story is very long. I will tell it all in due time. For now, I will stop here until the EFCC sends final report to my legal team. Once that happens, before heading to the law court, I will make the exact petition that doesn't include Paul's name public. I will also release the EFCC report. I will also release the EFCC reports. I will also release the EFCC final reports, receipts, and other documents related to this secret company, including the CAC registration, bank transactions, and bank statements that Jude set up with his wife, Ifoma Okoye. May God help us all. So guys, I'll leave you to be the judge over this matter. But for me, I don't care how they do it. All I know is that I want Psquare back, and many people will share the same view with me. We, the fans of Psquare, want Psquare back. We are not interested in this long stories. We just want Psquare back. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, help me grow this channel. Bye for now. Stay tuned for the latest gist in town across the globe.